Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to be talking about treatments for insulin resistance. So we talked a lot about what insulin resistance is. We also talked about hormones and how insulin resistance is related to that. And we also talked about diet related to insulin resistance. So today I'm going to talk about naturopathic treatments for insulin resistance. And I have a whole video on myo-inositol in my YouTube channel, so you can check that out. But what's really important when it comes to insulin resistance is diet and exercise. But there are some supplements that can actually help when it comes to insulin resistance. I would say the most researched supplement right now is myo-inositol. This is an isomer of a B vitamin. So it actually looks like the chemical structure kind of looks like a B vitamin, but it's not. And what it actually is this naturally occurring substance in our body that is actually lower in women with PCOS, and it's actually been shown to help insulin resistance. And what it can do is it can actually work on the cells in our body to allow for the glucose to come inside the cell. So if you want to learn more about what insulin resistance is, go back to the other Facebook Lives previous to this and you'll learn a little bit about that. But essentially what we want is we want the glucose inside the cells. And what myo-inositol does is actually help those receptors to allow for the glucose to come inside. And so this is actually working on the root cause of what's going on with insulin resistance. So that's why myo-inositol is really, really important and quite studied and can be really helpful when it comes to insulin resistance. So I'm going to tell you a few benefits of myo-inositol, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about other treatments too. But myo-inositol, they've actually studied it with women who are going under reproductive treatments, and it's shown to help with egg quality because it's actually working on the ovaries. It can really help with the quality of eggs. So number one, egg quality. Number two, or I guess number one is insulin resistance, and then egg quality. Another thing that it really helps with is mood. So we've seen in studies that higher dosages of myo-inositol can actually help with mood, so anxiety especially. And so that's another function of it, which is really nice because oftentimes we do find that there is anxiety in PCOS. And then another thing it helps with is sugar cravings. I actually find that when we take myo-inositol, our cravings for sugar actually diminishes or comes down, which is really nice. And I think the reason why is because it actually is working at the cellular level to treat the insulin resistance. So egg quality, insulin resistance, mood, reduces sugar cravings. It also lowers testosterone. So if you're having those symptoms of hirsutism, so excessive hair growth, acne or hair loss, it can actually help reduce testosterone, especially that LH to FSH ratio. This is two hormones that come from the pituitary gland in the brain, and it helps to lower that LH, which is commonly high in PCOS. And LH is luteinizing hormone. It tells the ovaries to make testosterone. So it can be really helpful if you're seeing that on your reports. If you've researched that, myo-inositol has been shown to help with that. The myo-inositol I'm currently using is Ovofolic. It's a Canadian company. And the benefit of this product is it actually has myo-inositol and D-inositol. A lot of people will ask, do I need both? Well, the research actually says that even myo-inositol alone is actually okay. But the benefit of taking both is that this actually is the same ratio as what we see in our ovaries, where we do find that these two substances are deficient. So specifically, it's also been studied in this ratio as well. The benefit too is there's a little bit of folate in here. So if you're taking metformin, it helps with that deficiency. And it's an activated form of folate or folic acid, which is folate. I find that this mixes well pretty easily, and it doesn't really taste like anything. So this is Ovofolic by Elan Health. I can drop in the comments a little bit about where you can find this. There's other brands too, like Ovasitol, the NFH, PCOS Care, Clinic Naturals, Cytomatrix, Cytoinositol, I think that's what it's called. But essentially, myoinositol is probably one of the most important supplements for PCOS in terms of insulin resistance. Second is berberine. I find that berberine really works when there's quite a bit of insulin resistance. This is a Chinese medicine herb. It actually focuses on the gut to help with insulin resistance, and we find that it also helps with cholesterol. So it can help if cholesterol is high, if there's fatty liver there, if there's cystic acne. I find berberine can really be helpful there too, but really helpful for insulin resistance as well. And then the third one is N-acetylcysteine. This is an antioxidant that actually gets created into something called glutathione in our liver, and it's actually been shown to help with insulin resistance and reduce testosterone. Initially, it was studied for bronchitis and the lungs, but recently it's actually been studied for PCOS, and it's been shown to help with a lot of these symptoms associated with PCOS, especially insulin resistance, but also inflammation. Other ones can be ALA, alpha lipoic acid. This has been studied specifically for reducing sugar in the blood, and one of the markers that they actually looked at was HbA1c. This is a marker of long-term view of glucose in our bloodstream, and ALA, alpha lipoic acid, has been shown to help reduce HbA1c. So this is a marker where they're actually screening for diabetes. So these are 4 things that I would, consider when treating a patient. And also, obviously, exercise and, diet are huge when it comes to insulin resistance. So next week, I'm going to talk about exercise and insulin resistance. I've learned some new information about this, so I want to share that with you, and just a new perspective on how to describe it as well. So really excited about that. So stay tuned for next week. I hope you guys have a great weekend. If you're in the United States, happy Thanksgiving and happy shopping to anybody shopping for Black Friday. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.